3 words. Gamers, gamers, pro gamers. We're talking about the last one. Today we're talking about competitive video gaming, aka electronic sports, aka esports, aka, yeah dad, I'm an e-athlete now. Look it up, it's a thing. The year is 1991. Wait, that's actually not far back enough, so try it again. The year is sometime before 1991. The first official video game competition was all the way back in 1972 at Stanford University, where primitive gamers were competing for high scores in a game called Space War, and the prize for the first place winner was a year-long subscription to Rolling Stone magazine. Ooh, cool. But the real e-girl hours started in 1980 with events like the Space Invaders Championship thrown by Atari, which attracted more than 10,000 aspiring pro gamers and is widely credited as the first major esports event. And esports would continue to grow throughout the 1980s with games like the aforementioned Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong, and would even birth one of the first famous e-athletes, Billy Mitchell, who is so hot and cool. Okay, so like I was saying, the year is 1991. Street Fighter 2 just hit the arcades and it is just rocking peonies and jeans worldwide. Because multiplayer in Street Fighter 2 didn't translate to just taking turns or competing for a high score. Yeah, right, Grandpa, sorry. This is real-time player 1 versus player 2 head-to-head battle. This is combat, this is competition. Now that's what I call esports. This now iconic and landmark video game not only laid down the groundwork for like the entire fighting game genre as we know it, but it sent shockwaves through every genre of video game that came after it, and also it had a really good soundtrack, and also Capcom released it like 600 times. Without Street Fighter 2, there's no GoldenEye, there's no Super Smash Brothers, there's no Halo split screen. Jesus, oh my god, can you even imagine? The 90s marked the birth of modern esports as we know them. We got the Nintendo World Championships in 1990 that toured across the United States and tested gamers by making them play sections of Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and Tetris all back to back while competing for high scores. And then we got another one of those for the Super Nintendo in 1994, and also me in 1994, because that's when I was born and one day I will die. In 1996, we got the now famous fighting game tournament Evolution Championship Series, or EVO, that hosted Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. God Capcom, see, this is what I was talking about. We got multiplayer first-person shooters like Quake that you could play online. What the f***? Dude, 56K, more like 56. Can you please get off the phone, Mom? I'm godlike right now, dude. 1997 saw the first nationwide online tournament, aka Red Annihilation for Quake, that eventually included a super intense IRL AFK JK LOL tournament held for the 16 finalists at E3 that spectators could spectate online in-game from their home. Ring ring, hello. Oh, it's the future? And the winner, Thresh, was even awarded John Carmack, the developer of Quake, his personal Ferrari for winning the tournament. In 1998, we got friggin' StarCraft, aka the government of Korea. Maybe that's a joke I shouldn't make. Some of the most popular esports of today, fighters, shooters, clickers, all were born in the 90s, and let's not forget, also me. Competitive gaming only continued to blossom in the early 2000s thanks to games like Counter-Strike and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Super Smash Bros. Melee and Halo 2 and Halo 3. Okay, we can talk about Halo. You don't have to twist my arm, dude. Ow, you're actually hurting me. Stop it, dude, stop, dude. When consoles finally caught up and got online with games like Halo 2 in 2004, that was a moment. MLG had seasons for Halo 2 and Halo 3 that felt like real-ass sporting events because they were. With sponsored teams and fan favorite e-athletes like Walshy, Strongside, and the legendary brothers Ogre 1 and Ogre 2. And me, Ogre 3. The best one. At this point with esports, it's getting to a point where it's like, if it's on TV and it's sponsored by Boost Mobile and the intro music is Breaking Benjamin, then I'm pretty sure it's a real thing now, Dad. In the late 2000s, being a full-time professional gamer was starting to become more of a reality than just a dream. But then, the internet once again did its classic move known as constantly changing everything, and we got Twitch live streaming in 2011, and now you don't even have to compete in official events to be considered a professional gamer. As long as you have the skills to entertain, you can make a living by live streaming on Twitch and even get sponsored by pro gamer organizations like Cloud9 or FaZe Clan. If I was in FaZe Clan, I'd be FaZe Corn Nuts. And if you are competing in major tournaments nowadays, holy shit, dude, the prize pools can be insane now. Let me break it down for you. The International, Valve's annual Dota 2 tournament, started in 2011 with a prize pool of 1.5 million, which was unheard of at the time. Last year, it was fucking 25.5 million. Ninja made almost $10 million last year. League of Legends tournaments sell out arenas like it's nothing. And I haven't even talked about how huge MOBAs are in Korea, because I don't understand what the fuck is happening on the screen right now. But you best believe, when I hear this dude scream pentakill at the top of his lungs, I am very aware that esports are f***ing huge now. But still, if you're not a gamer, why should you care about any of this? Because esports finally make a ton of money and you get to dye your hair and get a sick gamer chair? No, silly. You should care because of this. This stuff, this is why you should care about esports. It's Daigo doing the impossible. It's Goofy hitting this clutch-ass snipe to help win a crazy close game. It's Snacks playing CSGO like it's Metal Gear Solid, and it totally paying off.
They're a man to the good here, Virtus Pro, but that is massive. But Snacks is walking around and just walking in a Snacks wonderland. He got to take a hat-trick of frags. He waited, and then he finished off the job. You just had to wonder, when was he going to pull the trigger?
It's Swag throwing a pistol in the air so that Kenny S thinks it's a flash grenade, and then he comes around and he does this. Oh my days, it's so sick. I also really like CSGO. It's this.
Well, I think, Axe has been a fan of Team Rocket because that trouble doubled extremely quick. The Pikachu chant is humongous here. Oh man. Silent Wolf.
We've seen a lot of 4 stocks on this stage before.
But 45 seconds, Silent Wolf might be down to his last stock.
Is he gonna get it before a minute passes? Well, let's see. He's right near the edge. Oh my God! Destruction!
That was emphatic. That was amazing.
That's why you should care about esports. It's the comebacks, it's the rivalries, it's the teamwork, it's the creativity, it's the inspiration, it's the iconic moments, but most of all, is passion. Some of you might be asking, well, why didn't he talk about speedrunning? Because according to Wikipedia's definition of esports, that could technically be an esport, and my answer is that that's just a lot to unpack, and also, I'm gonna make videos in the future, so... Speed. Since the dawn of humankind, we have had but one sick and twisted desire. I must go fast. Enter the world of speedrunning, aka completing video games at the most optimal breakneck speeds imaginable. A world filled with words like strat, exploit, RNG, frame perfect, and a little thing I like to call wearing pajamas outside of your home. Cutscenes? Skipped! Walking normally? As if! Peanut butter chip? Chunky as? Awkward silences? Were you gonna say something?
I don't know.
The year is... Just kidding, the year is 1977. Miles per hour. Key Games releases Drag Race into the arcades, a game that had players compete for the best time in, you guessed it, a fucking drag race. 1980, Activision rips it off for the Atari and calls it Dragster. Whoa, wow, how'd you think of that name? And Dragster is commonly cited as one of the first documented cases of competitive speedrun. 1982, this guy Todd Rogers claims he gets a 5.51 record time in Dragster and holds the Guinness Book of World Records record for like 30 years until people dissect the code of the game in 2018 and find out that it's literally impossible to get anything faster than a 5.57. Wait, what the f? So you're telling me he cheated and lied? But I thought people were awesome. Nope, people suck, and there's gonna be a lot more cheaters too, and also a terrible video game called The Cheetah Men and a Disney Channel movie called The Cheetah Girl. 1986, Metroid drops and is one of the first non-speed focused games that still incentivize speedy gamers to complete it as fast as possible by rewarding gamers, classic move, with a couple of these. Yeah, I'm a gamer. Not because I don't have a life, but because I choose to live mini. 1993, Doom drops, and Doom is the reason speedrunning exists as we know it. Doom changed everything. Because not only does Doom have guns and ghouls and goblins and little gerbils with machine guns and an in-game timer, but Doom also has a built-in replay function where you could save demo files of your gameplay called lumps, aka .lmps, to watch later in-game. Basically think like Halo 3 theater mode, but like 14 years before that, which is completely crazy. Fraud. And speedrunners could share those little mountain lump files online as proof that they're not cheaters and that people are awesome. Yes! Yes, I fucking knew it! I knew they were awesome! Jesus Christ, dude. Doom is responsible for so many things. First-person shooters, deathmatch multiplayer, speedrunning, Fightful Goes West, An American Tale, Flushed Away, Ratatouille. 1994, Super Metroid drops, and this game is practically on its hands and knees begging you, please! Please, somebody speedrun me for the love of God! Containing a more open structure, advanced movement techniques like wall jumping, an in-game timer, some more of these, because I'm a gamer. Not because I don't have a wife, but because I've never smelled one. 1996, Doom gives birth to a massive chunky baby named Quake, and the speedrunning community that began with Doom just continues to blossom and grow with her grotesque, massive 3D polygonal son. 1997, Nolan Radix creates Nightmare Speed Demos, a site dedicated to speed demos of Quake, but only on the Nightmare difficulty, hence the name Nightmare Speed Demos. In case that was difficult to understand, here's a graph I made. Later in 1997, Nolan Radix and fellow speedrunners put together Quake Done Quick, a compilation of the fastest records for each level in Quake played on the Nightmare difficulty, but stitched together as if a person was playing through the whole game in one go while freebasing NOS. Quake Done Quick gets shared around different corners of the internet and even some PC gaming magazines, and is a lot of gamers' first exposure to the ever-growing world of not wearing a lot of deodorant. But some other gamers in the Quake community, also known as Quakers, didn't want to run on Nightmare mode and instead wanted to run on easy mode and just focus on going as fast as possible. So these Quakers made their own websites. 1998, Radix merges his freaky Nightmare site with a growing easy mode site, and bada boom, bada bing, Dobby and Gollum have entered the ring. Speed Demos Archive is born, which quickly becomes the sole hub for watching gamers go absolutely crazy on Quake. Essentially, much like Doom, Quake is really important and is super responsible for not only the growth of online speedrunning communities, but also 3D FPS games like Half-Life, online multiplayer in esports, community mods, Stuart Little, 2003, anonymous speedrunner under the nickname Morimoto uploads an impeccably perfect and speedy playthrough of Super Mario Bros. 3 to the internet, and a lot of people are like, whoa, Willikers, this is f***ing crazy, I'm peeing my pants. And while this video would introduce a lot of people to the concept of speedrunning, surprise bitch, think again, because you just got TAS. TAS, or Tool Assisted Speedrun, basically means that you play through the game using an emulator, and by using save states and other wizardry, you make it appear as if you are the Michael Jordan of Mario, when in reality, you're not even really the Michael Wazicki. Which is cool for seeing what's potentially possible in a game for actual speedrunners, but also adds a lot of fuel to the ongoing war between loser, cheater, bags of dog and people who are actually awesome and do NOS on top of cars. Also in 2003, Radix uploads his own personal speedrun of Metroid Prime to Speed Demos Archive, and after it gets a lot of traffic and attention, he says, you know what, screw it, and opens up Speed Demos Archive to speedruns of all sorts of games, not just Doom or Quake, like Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye 007 and Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario 64 and My Dad's a Dentist 64. I've wanted that game to come out for 100 years. And there's even different categories of speedruns, like any percent runs, which basically means just getting to the end credits as quickly as possible by any means necessary, even if it means using glitches and exploits to just teleport to the end of the game in under like 20 minutes, or 100% runs, which means completing everything in the game to 100% completion, which I'm sure you pieced together when I said 100%. In case that wasn't clear, here's a graph, here's another graph. You know, 4 hours might not be the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word speedrun, but when beating Ocarina of Time usually takes you like 3 years, suddenly 4 hours feels like you're right on the raceway to Talladega. Ow! Okay, so the year is 2007. Everyone's trying to get a Wii. Everyone's confused by the iPhone. Barack, he's given the Oval Office the stinky eye. And meanwhile on the internet, live streaming is slowly starting to rear its streamy head with sites like Ustream and Justin TV, which would later give us Twitch TV in 2011. I don't know, maybe you've heard of it. And speedrunners are definitely taking notice. 2010, a group of speedrunners from the website speeddemoarchives.com, remember that website from earlier? Well, they decided to take a hint from the speed gamers and hold a speedrunning charity marathon event of their own, and they called it Classic Games Done Quick, a reference to that Quake compilation video from earlier, Quake Done Quick. Oh my god, it's like everything is connected and everyone's gonna fall in love at the end. Starting in 2011, Awesome Games Done Quick, or AGDQ, and its companion summer event, Summer Games Done Quick, or SGDQ, have been held every year since, and if you've heard of speedrunning before clicking on this obnoxious and terrible video, GDQ is probably a big reason for that. Streamed live on Twitch for a week straight, GDQ is non-stop 24/7 speedrunning madness. I mean, if you want to see gamers go absolutely sacrilegious on some look no further. Want to see your favorite game that took you like 7 centuries to beat get farted on by a pro gamer in like 30 minutes while simultaneously explaining to you how and why? Like, okay, so basically right here, I'm going to use the item swap glitch I talked about earlier to frame perfect teleport Cranky Kong into the final dance scene. Okay, Cranky Kong is in the final dance scenario. He pulled out the shovel. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, he bonked the last boss on the head. That's time. All of your girlfriends are now pregnant. And check your Bank of America account because it should be drained. In 2014, AGDQ raised over $1 million for Prevent Cancer Foundation, doubling that in 2017 and tripling that in 2020. A $3 million fart on cancer, all because humans are sick, twisted, and goddamn it, beautiful psychos that just want to go fast. And yeah, sometimes that might involve being extremely awkward, but it also involves one very important word: passion. While GDQ grew bigger and bigger every year since the birth of Twitch, gaining more and more viewers, speedrunning and speedrunning streamers grew along with it. And even if some people will cheat and lie and do whatever it takes to get some world record in some random game, a lot of other people actually are amazing. The borderline computer android ass level of inhuman perfection and precision required to pull some of this shit off is nothing short of astounding. It is f***ing poetry moving at 60 frames per second and maybe also sometimes 9 frames per second if it's GoldenEye. Speedrunning in a lot of ways reminds me of skateboarding, and not just because I'm dog at both of them. It's because both hobbies require that you fail at the same thing over and over and over and over again before you can even get a tiny bit close to achieving your goal. Both hobbies require intense mindfulness and focus and control over what your body is physically capable of doing. Both hobbies have a strong sense of community where you can feel that your peers just want you to succeed and push yourself and break new ground. And they both make people act like tiny little babies and have little pissy fits. Although I am neither a professional gamer that works at GameStop or a professional skateboarder that works at GameStop, I greatly admire those that are employed by their local GameStop because it is an absolute gift to be able to witness what they are capable of achieving while freebasing NOS. The current state of speedrunning rules, at least coming from an avid fan and dumbass viewer. Because nowadays, there seems to be a speedrunning community for any game imaginable. Speedrunning has become so commonplace that even IGN is getting in on the action with their Devs React to Speedrun series, which is the best idea they've had since the 9 out of 10 review score. Whether it's a AAA game, indie game, Game Boy game, Flash game, Wikipedia page, people are probably speedrunning it. And if you've ever played a video game, you should definitely check out a speedrun, because going fast is pretty ass crazy.